Back now, let's focus on some other stories we have for you this afternoon. And it's been 5 years since armed men stormed the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency and unleashed violence on the people during a by-election. The incident caused anger among Ghanaians, prompting the setup of a commission of inquiry to probe what might have happened. Right, so this is what we've managed to put together for you. A convoy of cars marked with police arrived at the Ayawaso Presby polling station on January 31st, 2019, minutes after voting started. Men with black masks and shirt labeled NSC, that's National Security Council, emerged from the vehicle with pistols and AK-47 rifle. And I mean, the videos are available for you to see. Shots were fired for 20 minutes. And the men were later identified as SWAT members, and SWAT belong to the Ghana Police Service. The NDC pulled out in the middle of the parliamentary by-election, so it became a one-sided affair, even though they had they participated from the start, and that's what happened. Now today, the National Democratic Congress is calling for justice for victims of the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election 5 years after the incident. In a statement signed by the NDC's General Secretary Fifi Kwete, to mark the 5th anniversary, he said the profound impact of the indiscriminate firing of sophisticated assault rifle left many with life-changing injuries and instilled fear among voters. He therefore called on government to implement the recommendation of the Emile Short Commission of Inquiry to bring quick and lasting relief to the victims of that dastardly event. And they are also demanding the payment of financial compensations to those injured by the SWAT team and those whose property were damaged. The structure of reporting within the national security setup needed to be revised. That is the NDC making the point. Now today, the Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, he became one of the known faces and the stars of the Ayawaso West Wuogon parliamentary by-election. Sam George was in the constituency during the by-election and eventually became a victim. It's called for justice for victims who were maimed and killed.
You have something to say as it relates to your household?
Well, I mean, like I said, you wake up every year, 31st of January, and for me, it's literally 9 days after my birthday. And it just comes flooding right back again, the images and the pictures. And because of Facebook and social media, you get reminders. The videos pop up again. And you ask yourself, in a split second, I'd have been gone, possibly forgotten. But that was their aim, so that I wouldn't have been around to come and be exposing the rot at GRA, like we did earlier this week, to get rid of us. But notice is hereby served. We're here for the long run. We're not going anywhere. We'll continue to work for God and country and expose the rot in this government. So help us God.
Is it only through election, when the next NDC government comes to power, that you can seek justice for these innocent people, including yourself? Are you not a member of parliament, and you can trigger some processes here to ensure that justice is served?
On the 31st of January 2021, I read a statement on the floor of the House. 31st January 2021. And Parliament demanded the payment of those compensations. Go and check the hands out. 31st of January 2021. At less than in fact, it was the second week or the first week after this 8th Parliament started sitting. I read the statement. Parliament agreed and called on the Minister for Interior and Minister for National Security to pay those compensations. Nothing has been done. It has not been carried through. So Parliament has had its say. But when you have a despot, when someone is callous and purposely wicked in his heart, he lacks the milk of human compassion. He doesn't care. In fact, for him, the job wasn't completed because the intent was to kill us. Kill as many Ghanaians as possible. And you saw him do it. You know, 2019 was when this happened in Ayawaso West Wuogon. In 2020, it was a dress rehearsal for 2020. In 2020, 8 Ghanaians were killed. 8 Ghanaians were killed. Look, we have had very contentious elections. In 2008, the elections actually went to a 3rd round, but no Ghanaian had ever been killed in an election. Yes, you have your usual macho men violence here and there, but no Ghanaian had ever been killed. Ayawaso West Wuogon, January 2019, state apparatus attacked and unleashed mayhem on Ghanaian citizens.
So we'll hear shortly from the Deputy Interior Minister. We'll also hear from the NDC Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency chairperson, who is with me here in the studio. But let me take you live to the constituency, precisely that Bawalewshi. And Kenneth Jesse is there and is coming to us live from the place. Kenneth, tell us the mood there.
The epicenter of that violence. Now, 2 buildings after, you see a school park there. It moved up place and it came here to this white building. Now, there's another store here. It was shots were fired into this building. There's a woman there who wasn't present when the incident happened, but she's here, wants to share a word with us, and it was one of her.
So we'll bring Ken back. We appear to be having difficulties with establishing clean connection with him. But let me bring in Mark Aite. Mark, you're welcome to the pause. So 5 years on, have you gotten over the incident?
It's an incident that any time you pass through the Bawalewshi school, it reminds you the ordeal that many of our members went through on that fateful day. So it is not over yet because the constituent asked the questions. What next? 2024, December 7 is here. Are we going to experience the same thing? So that fear, that scar is still in their minds. How do we deflate it? It depends on the actions of government and the Ghana police.
So the compensation, how many people are due for compensation?
Technically, per the report, we have individual liabilities where Sakomia, core double, was mentioned in the report according to the Criminal Offences Act 192, which suggests that when you carry unlawful firearm and you indiscriminately fire, the law must deal with you. That recommendation is still hidden in the report now, which the government and the Ghana police has done nothing about. Secondly, our brother, friend, and MP, Sam George, was also mentioned. A gentleman called Mohammed Suleimana slapped him. And in the report, or the recommendation by Emile Short Commission report, suggested that that gentleman should be dealt with by law. You know what Nanado and his administration did? According to them, that aspect of the recommendation was removed from the white paper. And their reason was that Honorable Sam George provoked Mohammed Suleimana. So the question is, in this country, if somebody provoke you, you have the right to slap the person. So when you come to the main compensation, there were 5 gentlemen mentioned in the report that need to be compensated. As we speak now, 5 are still in critical condition. Mohammed Al-Hassan has a stroke now. He can't move unless family and friends support him before he moves. When you go to Yaru's house, you will cry for the gentleman, a footballer, a professional footballer. I think your team were there today.
Yes, today.
And when you see him and he tells you the ordeals he's gone through, it's not easy.
Let me just run through, yes, before you go, let me just run through for the benefits of our listeners that going through the compensation recommendation that was made by the Emile Short Commission, the committee came to the conclusion that, and they recommended the payment of financial compensation to the following persons on the basis of injuries sustained by them arising out of the reckless gunshot by the SWAT team, and that is to say Mr. Theophilus Sedufu, Seydou Zane, James Moore, Mohammed Al Hassan, and Ishao Jaro. Yeah. And there's a person you're saying that.
Yes. The fifth person.
Exactly. And then it goes on to say that the commission recommends payment of compensation to the following persons for damage caused to their property: owner of a vehicle, the vehicle number provided, owner of a Kia Picanto, one Mr. Justice She, owner of a beauty salon, Mrs. Justine She, owner of a beauty salon bordering the road. And there's also general recommendations that they made to the police, the operationalization of SWAT and national security and the rest. So you are updating me on the state of affairs of these individuals.
Yes, these individuals, fortunate for us, we have party leadership that believes that they were there to support the NDC. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the national chairman, current national chairman and former national chairman, regional, and ourselves as constituency, we've been there and we've supported them. They've gone through, especially Yalo has gone through several stages of surgery, from 37 Military Hospital to far in the eastern region. We've been there for them, but the rule is that statutory recommendations or a committee like Emile Short Commission report, the President, the Ministry of Interior, National Security, and all the bodies that are expected to act on that particular recommendation, they are all sleeping. Simply because the whole exercise that took place on that very day was a state plan orchestration to destroy and maim people to take a particular seat, which they believe that is the only thing that will save their government. So for me, it was a plenty. The president was aware. The MP aspirant, then Lydia Al-Hassan, was aware. National security, they all were aware. So they planned to just frustrate, kill people so that we pull out. Unfortunately, our former chairman then, Mr. Ofus-Wampofu, saw the need for us to pull from that election. Because how should blood flow before somebody goes to parliament? The people you are going to rule over them, you are killing them.
All right. So
one particular recommendation, which is still hidden, was that the police must ensure that recruitment into the agencies are very, very transparent, especially the police service, because they realize, per the commission report, that those guys in the SWAT uniform and car were recruited from the back door. And as I speak to you now, it's still happening. I will give you an example.
I guess the issue of recruitment in the police service, I mean, if you go back to so many reports that we are privy to, it appears to be,
in the bosom of
all political parties.
No,
all political parties.
No, please.
I mean, if you look at all the reports that we've been witness to, it happens.
No,
it has happened under NDC. It's happened under NPP. Members of Parliament added to their campaign message and say that I was able to recruit so numbers to the police, to the immigration. So it is something that we have to deal with it holistically, devoid of political party. Yes.
During NDC time, you can go and check police advertisement calling on Ghanaians to apply, whether it is not public.
So my point is that there's always that political influence. It's been so from I'm guessing from
advertised. If it is advertised, now we don't see advertisement of recruitment into security agencies. Right. As I speak to you now, the last primaries of the MPP, police personnel who are under training at the Tesano there were allowed to go home and go and vote for MPP parliamentary candidate and come back to the training.
We cannot verify that.
I'm telling you.
I cannot verify that, so I will treat it as an allegation. That is unverified.
That is the reality.
But let's stay on the matter. The reason
and that must stop. That is why this politicalism is.
Yeah, I understand you, but it's something that we cannot verify, so we won't let it stand. So let's come to the matter. Five of your patrons, I mean, going through difficult times. Beyond the fact that you on the party's own resources, you've managed to take care of them. What more have you done to ensure that the compensation is paid?
Our lawyers, I remember 2002, lawyer Daudu, our young lawyer who is now the director of
Eduji
Tamakro and Co., went to the Interior Ministry and they diverted us to National Security. We went to National Security, they were also shifting goalposts. By then, They've called the people. How can somebody like Ishahau, whose leg is gone, then you are giving him 60,000 cedis as compensation?
So the determination was actually left at the discretion of the ministry, isn't it?
That is the point. They did not allow the lawyers. When it comes to compensation, there is a calculation that goes into it. You need actuarial science personnel who has done insurance very well to be able to look at the situation, what goes into it, and come out with a calculation that will ensure that if you are not restoring the person to his former lifestyle, there must be that gap that must be bridged. That has not been done. We believe that the government is intentional, and we can assure all the victims. The recommendation is a public document, and we are going to stand by it. God willing, December 7th, if NDC is voted into power again, because they are Ghanaians. We know they are NDC people, but they are Ghanaian. And the constitution did not say that if it is a particular party, don't do it, or if it is a particular party, do it. You see, the 8 people that were killed in 2020 election, very unfortunate what happened to our democracy. These are all the genesis of 2019, what happened, because people were not prosecuted, no compensation. Everybody think that, okay, if I do it, my government MPP is in power. So they end up killing 8 people. Those people that were killed, ask what have been done to their families. No compensation to them. Even the president has not even issued a statement in one of his address to the nation, his nation's address. No statement, a paragraph, a sentence attributed to those who were illegally killed.
So for Ayawaso West Wuogon, what more is the party prepared to do?
For us, the lawyers are handling the matter. Just that the government is not giving them the cooperation. Because it's like we planned it, we executed it, and we are supposed to compensate. No way, we will not allow anybody.
But it's the same government that set up this committee that brought about this recommendation. So the government has shown some bit of faith in that direction.
That faith is not from the heart of His Excellency John Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Nevertheless, the committee was set up in a more transparent manner for everybody to provide why
you gave a recommendation. Professor Emerita of Mensa Bose, a professor of law, Emile Short, and IGP, Mr. Atikweku Kwaten. These are renowned lawyers. You gave them a recommendation to make a full, faithful, and impartial inquiry into circumstances of an established fact leading to the event and associated violence that occurred. After they finished the work, Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo looked at their faces, including the professor, and told them that they deviated from the terms of reference given to them. And by so doing, he's not accepting some of the recommendations. It's an intentional thing. And I was disappointed when Professor Harriet Mensah Bonsu accepted Nanado's appointment into the Supreme Court. It lacked certain level of integrity to act that a whole professor, a president who has not been a researcher before, giving you an assignment and telling you that you have deviated because they don't want to follow your recommendation. If that president appoints me to any level with whatever it is, I will reject it to show the president that my integrity is at stake.
All right. Executive, thank you very much. We're scheduled to speak to the Deputy Interior Minister to provide some light on why it's taking 5 years, and so there's no, workable solution to address the very thorny issue of compensation, as recommended by the Emile Short Commission for some 5 individuals who got injured in the process, and as we've been told, some are really having it tough, keeping body and soul together. But unfortunately, we are unable to reach the Deputy Minister for her perspective on this matter. Hopefully, sometime to come, we'll be able to do so. But this is the pause. We'll take a short break and we're back to deal with the rest of the issues.